So we are in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, chapter 472, Taf Ayin Beis, Halacha Chavav, Halacha 26. Yesterday we discussed who is obligated in the 4 cups of wine, the way in which to engage children, and a discussion on the fact that women are obligated in the 4 cups of wine, notwithstanding the fact that it's a time-bound positive commandment, which ordinarily they're exempt from. But considering that women and as well as men were part of the miracle of the Exodus from Egypt, and therefore our sages instituted that women should also be obligated in the mitzvahs of the night. When it comes to matzah, however, they're actually biblically mandated to eat matzah, as we learned yesterday, because the mitzvah of eating matzah is linked to the prohibition against eating chametz. And the prohibition against eating chametz certainly applies to women biblically, as with all prohibitions. And therefore, any positive mitzvah linked to a negative mitzvah, linked to a prohibition, the Torah requires that of women as well. So the matzah, which is a mitzvah linked to the prohibition of eating chametz, right? Don't eat chametz, but instead eat matzah. Therefore, women who are obligated in the prohibition of eating chametz are also obligated in the mitzvah biblically of eating matzah. But as far as the 4 cups of wine and the rest of the Seder, it's rabbinic enactment so that they partake of the Seder, considering that they also partook of the miracle of the Exodus. So we left off yesterday. And today, in Halacha Chavav, we discuss the kind of wine to be used for the 4 cups. And to the best of my knowledge, these halachas are true for Kiddush as well, not just for the 4 cups. So let's see. Mitzvah lachzer achar yayin adam. It's a mitzvah to look out for, to seek out red wine. If the white wine isn't better. So if the white wine is of higher quality, take the white wine. But if they're of equal quality, then take the red. And certainly if the red is of better quality, you're taking the red. Why red? Shnemar, as the verse reads, Al teira yain kis adim. Don't look at the wine when it is red. Context of the verse is not so important. It's a verse in Mishlei, Proverbs. But the point is mashma. The implication is the virtue of wine is in its state of redness. Okay. So I said before that the halachas apply to all year round as well. We'll see certain parts where it does, but this halacha doesn't. Even though when it comes to Kiddush of the other Yom Tovim and Shabbos, we follow the view which says that one is not required to seek out red wine if it's not better than the white wine, meaning even if it's equal, you still don't have to look for the red wine. That's the opinion we follow most nights of the year. Most Kiddush commission is Ayin Reish Beis, as explained in chapter 272. Nonetheless, Dalet Kaises, when it comes to the 4 cups of wine, it is appropriate to follow the view which says that one should seek out red wine because there's the association with blood. And the Jewish people, and it's linked to the fact that Jewish people were slaughtered by Pharaoh. Thus, the association of blood to the night of the Seder. And therefore, even though ordinarily we follow the view which says no reason to seek out red wine, even if it's the same quality as white wine. If it's better, then certainly you have to seek out the red wine, because you're always supposed to use the better wine for Kiddush, which is an interesting halacha, because a lot of times people want to save the better wine for their meal because they feel like they're gulping for Kiddush and want to save the better wine for later in the meal. Halachically, maybe you're supposed to use the better wine for Kiddush, give it more prestige. We're learning here, right? Yeah. If you have red wine and white wine and they're the same, and one is of greater quality, then you have to take the better quality. So why wouldn't that apply to 2 red wines? Presumably it would. At any rate, so year round, if the red wine or white wine, if whichever one's better, you take that for both Kiddush and the 4 cups of wine. If they're of the same quality, there's 2 views. One view which says to get the red, one view which says it doesn't matter. So all year round, we go with the view that says it doesn't matter. And if you want the red wine, if you want the white, take the white. But on the night of the Seder, we go with the view which says that take the red wine better than the white wine, even if they're the same quality, because there's an association with blood, and the Jewish blood spilled as a result of the enslavement of Pharaoh. Now look at footnote 110. Yeah, we're clear so far?
Yeah, so we're saying that the red one represents recalled blood shed by Pharaoh.
Yeah, that's why on the Seder night, we go with the view which says take the red wine. But the rest of the year, we don't care. Take the white wine if you like the white wine.
So, and what was the pasuk before? It says, "Do not look at the wine."
That's just the verse which indicates that there's a special association that the true nature of wine, or the best nature of wine, is its redness.
Okay.
It's just the scriptural association for the idea that red wine has this unique status.
More wine then.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at footnote 110. Yeah, you see back footnote 110. So the code said, the Alter Rebbe wrote in the code, in the Shulchan Aruch, that throughout the rest of the year, not on the Seder night, we are not particular to take the red over the white wine. If you prefer the white, take the white, even if they're of the same quality. Right, again, we just finished saying this. If the red wines of better quality, take the red wine, certainly. But if there's of the same quality, only on the Seder night, where there's association with the blood, do we look for the red wine. But on the rest of the year, take the white wine if you'd like. That's what the Shulchan Aruch just finished saying to us, yes? Yeah, with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says halacha, says the footnote 110. Although the custom of the Rebbeim was generally to use red wine for the Starim, there's a letter from the Rebbe Rashab, the fifth Chabad Rebbe, biggest Kodesh of the Rebbe Rashab, volume 1, letter 180, which speaks of seeking out white wine for Pesach, one of the years. What might be the reason? So let's see. Then what? Yeah. It's an interesting little thing. 1 year that he looked up for white wine.
Seeking out.
Yeah, looking for the white wine. Why? So let's see. Says the Alter Rebbe, back to the main text. Ba'achshav, nowadays, shemitzuyim lalois alila shkarim, where it's commonplace for blood libels, especially on the Seder night. Nimnu melikach yayin adam Pesach. Many refrain from taking red wine on Pesach in fear that the neighbors are going to see them drinking red wine and thinking that they're drinking blood. Blood libels, heard of that?
Yeah, but you're saying the present era is the Alter Rebbe's present era.
Yes. Blood libels don't exist anymore. Present era means the Alter Rebbe's present era. That's right. That's right. Which they put in footnote 112. In the present era, actual present era, when those fears have subsided, there are widespread practices to use red wine at the Seder. So maybe that was what happened by the Rebbe Rashab, but I have to look up the letter to see what exactly was going on. Maybe after this, we'll look up the letter.
How many years are there? Is it the same era, like Rebbe Rashab and
Alter Rebbe?
Yeah.
Well, Alter Rebbe is the first Chabad Rebbe, and the Rebbe Rashab is the fifth Chabad Rebbe. But it's about 100 years between them.
Yeah.
But blood libel still exists in the Rebbe Rashab's time. Really? The last famous blood libel is Menachem Beilis, right? Famous story of Menachem Beilis, which is exactly during that time of the Rebbe Rashab. In fact, the Rebbe Rashab instructed the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Levi, to write a Kabbalistic dissertation as to why Jews do not drink blood to be presented in court. It went to court, the blood libel from Menachem Beilis. Yeah. Wow. And a big part of the defense was demonstrating how Jews do not drink blood, and it's prohibited to drink blood. So to compound the evidence, and not just halachically we don't, but even Kabbalistically we don't. So the Rebbe Rashab asked Rabbi Levi, Rebbe's father, to write a letter explaining why Kabbalistically we don't drink blood, in addition to the Kabbalah. And in other ways, the Rebbe Rashab lobbied on behalf of Menachem Beilis, is involved in the case. At any rate, in the Rebbe Rashab's lifetime, the blood libel is still going on. Now, do you want to give it 2 minutes? We'll look up the letter.
So yeah, I've never heard of it.
No, I don't know if the letter is connected to Menachem Beilis, but you can look up Menachem Beilis. He wrote a diary of Menachem Beilis in Yiddish. Actually, it's one of the Yiddish books I actually read. Okay, look. Tell me in footnote 1. What is it? Look at the footnote 110. Tell me what number letter is. Volume 1, letter number what?
Yeah.
So I'm looking up the Rebbe Rashab's letter online. Mm,
180.
letter 180. I don't see the Rabbi Shab's letter. I don't see the Rabbi Shab's use on this book. Oh, here we are. Volume 1. Pulling it up. I wonder if it's actually connected to that year was the year of Menachem Bela's libel, and therefore the Rabbi Shab went with white wine. I'm curious to see like why the Rabbi Shab went with white wine that one year. Let's see. No letter number? Said letter number 180, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is letter 45, so you gotta go way farther down. Let's see. Letter 102. Sorry, where's it go further down the book? Letter 136. Let's go even further down. Letter 168. We're getting closer. I'm like skipping through the book. 183. Okay, let's go back to 180.
Is there a long letter?
I'll find that in 1 second. Oh, very short. Okay. This letter seems like it was written just before Purim. And the Rebbe Rashab was at the time in his house. And he's inviting his son to come home, his son being the Frierdiker Rebbe, to come home for Purim. Okay, so he's writing to his son, the Frierdiker Rebbe. Previously, the Rebbe Rashab writes, I'm going to try to translate as best I can. May God grant that everything should be settled quickly and with good and with success, whatever the previous Rebbe is up to. With respect to your travels, it would be nice also if you can, God willing, come to our home for Purim. It seems like we need to be also in Kaminka and Yanushbal. I guess these are different cities that the previous Rebbe had to travel to. I assume.
It's written in Hebrew? Or
yes, Hebrew. I'm translating as best I can. Oh, so they put in the footnote that the previous Rebbe was visiting his in-laws in Kishinev, and he's wishing him good travels, and hopefully we'll see her back. Back here in Lubavitch for Purim, and it seems like Yanupshpal was a place where another relative lived. Their Rashab's sister. Let's see. Okay, so he says you have to go. It seems like you also have to go to Kaminka and Yanushbal, because my sister, the Rashab was writing, my sister, her name was Chaimushka, so the previous year's aunt, go visit her, I guess, promised me that you'll spend some time with her. So go there. It seems like you have to go there, as well as Kaminka. You have to be there. You also have to be in Kaminka. Certainly, you'll see over there the Siddur of the Baal Shem Tov. I guess the Siddur of Baal Shem Tov is in Kaminka at the time. Not sure why. Certainly, you'll see the Siddur of the Baal Shem Tov, and it would be nice if you mark down where you find handwriting within the Baal Shem's, I guess within the Baal Shem Tov Siddur, or just write down the locations of where you find the different manuscripts. Oh no, sorry. Mark down where in the book you see the Baal Shem Tov's handwriting, and also see if you can find where there are tear marks. There are well-known tear marks that Baal Shem Tov would cry during prayer, and they would land on the book, on a siddur. They're well-known, so please mark down where exactly in the siddur these tears fall down. What the siddur is about. Where in the siddur is this? Interesting.
And this is the Rebbe Rashab writing to his son?
Yes. It seems to me, says the Rashab, that in the words Elokeinu v'Elokei Aviseinu, I guess in the siddur, meaning on that page, it seems like there might be some tears. I'm not sure what you're looking at. Look, everything that would be. I don't see anything in the explanation here. Also, just to know if what we thought was the Maggid the Bezush's handwriting, if it's indeed the case based on those who have the manuscripts. It's already been a week that I wrote to him about it. Him, I'm not sure who the him is. Shmuel Lipson, who has these manuscripts, that Bashar wrote to him. So please go verify with him when you go to visit him in Kaminka about the tears, about the handwriting, and the Maggid Mizrach's handwriting. Okay. If you'd like, continues the Rashab, your son-in-law not the Rebbe, the son-in-law from Shneres and Mikeshenev would be his son. Oh no, your father-in-law. If you like, your father-in-law, if your father-in-law will be okay, that if your father-in-law wants that you spend another week there, I'm okay with that. Don't worry. But in my opinion, it's best if you come home for Purim. If your father-in-law insists you stay there, stay there. Okay. Next page. Not much more to the letter. Your daughters and our grandchildren are doing well, thank God. And may God grant that this be further. No, they should live well. And he's sending his wishes to his daughters, to his daughters, to previous of his daughters, meaning his grandchildren, which would be their Rebbetzin, their his wife, and her sisters. I asked them to write to us about how they're doing, and give us delight, give us nachas, asking his granddaughters to write to him. Now here's the final line. Certainly, you will find Yayin Gimel, I'm not sure what that stands for. Oh, interesting. Certainly, you found proper wine that we need for Pesach, which is upcoming. There shouldn't be any mixture of sugar in the wine, and it should be white and not too strong. Because the Frierdiker of his father-in-law, which is where he's visiting, would make wine, and every year he would send to his mechutin, to the Frierdiker of his father, the Rashab, he would send wine for Pesach. So, and he's asking for wine that's not strong, no sugar, and white. Doesn't explain why. What's the year of the letter? The year of the letter is Tafrei Samaches. What year would Tafrei Samaches be? Let's see if that's the Menachas Balaam child. Tafrei Samaches would be 1908. Tafrei Samaches would be, right? Let's do heap cow. Once you're here and you're interested, I'm doing this. You get to join me on my learning journeys. Sorry?
He was reading in 1913.
That was the case of Nachum Bela's trial?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do 5, 6. Samach would be 6, 8. I'm just looking to see what the date would be. This letter would be, no, sorry, I went the wrong way. 5, 6, 6, 8. What year was the trial?
1913.
13. When did he get arrested? Because this letter is 1907.
It says he was born 1874 and died in 1934.
When was he arrested? I'm looking this up. When was Menachem? It could be unrelated.
Right.
Payless arrested, but it'd be interesting if it was. No. Sorry?
Bayless affair.
Yeah, the Bayless trial. Why wasn't Google showing me this? His name is Menachem Bayless. Here, Menachem Bayless. Here we go. Menachem Bayless, Wikipedia.
Is that Wikipedia?
Yeah, of course. It's a famous trial. It's the last. There's a picture of him. It was a child murder. The trial. Okay, during the pre-trial, which is 1911, 1912, on March 2nd, 1911, a 13-year-old boy named Andriy Yushchinsky disappeared on the way to school. 8 days later, his mutilated body was discovered in the cave near wherever. Bayless was arrested July 21st, 1911. Okay, so this letter is before the Bayless trial, and therefore completely unrelated. But anyways, it'll be interesting to find out why the Rashab wanted white wine. Okay, we'll start. We learned something interesting today. God willing, tomorrow we'll continue the halachas of what kind of wine is required for Kiddush and for the night of the Seder. All right, wonderful day, Eden.